just a little bit, just veer. Yeah. Just veer.
I missed something last meeting, but I'll do it again. That's fine. I've already turned mine. Okay, good.
Remind me, I need to, when we finish here, ask you some questions about that
Doing
thing
well
for
yourself.
January the 26th.
Andy, you look like you're losing weight.
2023, rolling in. 5 pounds lighter.
No,
we're
we've already
filming.
got it. It's that room.
Oh,
Yeah, but I just need to find out.
Ah,
I've gotta
they were
get with
literally
my
printing out
group
the
and see
delinquent
kinda
lists to
what
add to
we
the
wanna
packets,
do.
but
I don't know
Is
if
she-
it
we're
doesn't look like
gonna
we're
go
gonna have
in
quorum anyway.
And do like hors d'oeuvres and just have like water and.
Well,
tea.
we got four.
Four.
That counts.
It's.
I haven't
5:30
heard
to
from Jeremy.
7:30. Yeah.
I know Esther's not gonna be
Yeah,
here.
it's for
Danny's not gonna be
Sheila
here.
Franklin. She's running for school board.
So like I said, I don't know where
So
Jeremy is.
she's-
Is Gates gonna be here?
He's not. He's in another meeting.
Okay. All right. Mike.
We have 2 new employees at the chamber, and so they are having some sales training. Exactly.
Our meeting about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What am I supposed
This
to do?
isn't the same. Yeah, it wasn't. Oh, I wondered if she was just sick today or.
Right there, right? Well, just give me a call, please.
Yeah.
He wants some money. I know you. I see one once.
We have nothing to even. Andy's just out there. Mike's just over there.
I mean Sheila. Sheila, sorry. It's 2:35.
Oh, okay.
It's 2:30. I mean 2:30. I've been scolded for not starting at 2:30, so
Andy, take your seat,
please.
please.
Yeah, I've been told several times, make sure you're starting at 2:30.
Okay. The reports are coming. We were trying to knock off delinquent list before we hit print.
So if we're waiting on the reports, can we just jump ahead to
Yeah.
some things?
I was gonna say,
Jump
yeah,
ahead
cause
to
we
the-
can't do minutes,
Right.
or, yeah.
Can we go ahead and do one of your reports?
Sure. I'll still stand up, even though I got a microphone now. It's better when I can see everybody. Okay, so what has been occupying the majority of my time is putting a bid together for the AAA for their Weekend of Champions, as I mentioned in my report. We go Wednesday at 2:00 to present this week to present to a committee of 20 superintendents who will be deciding on where state tournaments are held for multiple different sports this year, as well as the Weekend of Champions. And so we'll be bidding against Rogers, which is new, and they have new facilities, and Benton, which has hosted it the last couple of years, I believe. We've talked to UCA about it. They're obviously on board. They are willing to work with us, work with AAA on scheduling. We've talked to AETN, Arkansas PBS, I should say. They historically film all of the state finals and broadcast them, and they are over the moon at the thought that they would be in Conway and they wouldn't have to travel anywhere, and they could film basically on campus where they already are. So hopefully that is a positive outcome on that. We submitted a bid to All-Star, to AAA, for the All-Star games. One being a financial contribution the AMP Commission would be comfortable with if we get the Weekend of Champions events, and one if we do not get the Weekends of Champions events. And they were happy with that option. And while they can't take money for the Weekend of Champions event, obviously that makes our bid look nice to them, even though AAA is not the one making the decision. I this last month met with Multiview, who is a online digital marketing company. our ads are performing well. Had 62 click-throughs from ads, which is really good. That means 62 people who had never been on our website clicked on an ad about Conway that took them to conwayark.com. So I felt really good about that. Also had a meeting last week with AACVB, that's the Arkansas Association of CVBs, and we discussed some legislative issues that could be impactful to A&P commissions across the state this year. There has been a bill already presented that would change the way A&Ps can be formed, and so they're just watching that closely and trying to see what happens with it. And I'll let you know if anything changes on that. It doesn't impact you unless at some point you ever wanted to add, say, a third cent to hotels or another cent to restaurants, which right now you all could choose to do that if you wanted, with the support of the council, of course. Met with a representative from Shakespeare Theater. They have all new staff over there, and they are coming back in 2023. And so they were just wanting to make sure that they use their A&P funds appropriately, and they have a great season already planned. So, any questions about anything?
Oh, ma'am, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Start with reviewing the December minutes, please.
I have reviewed those and we'll make a motion for approval.
And I'll second it.
All right,
Okay.
so I have a motion from Ms. Sheila and a second from Mr. Mike to approve the December minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So funding events,
No.
both sides of the, both sides. We'll go ahead and
Sure.
start the financial.
I read the balance sheet. Our Centennial account set 7873 is our operating account, and the balance is 1,150,982.63. And in our collections account, the 7271 is 851,750.04. Flip to the last page in that little packet. For December 31, 2022, we ended up in the black. 20,895.37 for the month of December. And this year to date, we are in the red, 190,482.88. Compared to last year, being in the black, 670,102.65.
So for those who are watching, the reason that we're 190,000
Turf.
And if you haven't driven
Yes,
by
sir.
the fields, it's turned out
It's
really
looked
nice.
awesome.
Got a little nervous when you see about 30 feet of dirt up in the air, and then you see them bringing in rocks, but it looks really good.
It does look really good.
Yeah.
The general ledger and the account reconciliations are just to back the financials presented.
Where would we show interest income? Back on the income statement, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Interest income up there in the top,
Third one down.
third one down.
I do see. Thank you very much.
Moving to the long pieces of paper, unless you have any questions. First two pages are just the allocation to the city and to AMP. The third page is total collections, and collections for December of 2022 were $456,164.81, up over 2021 by $7,259.08, and over December of 2020 by $163,773.33. So up over 2021 by 1.59% and over 2020 by 35.90%. Fourth page is delinquent collections, and they totaled for the month of December $23,154.69 and were 5.08% of total collections. Collections excluding delinquent totaled $433,010.12, up over 2021 by $19,653.58, 4.54% increase. Simple collections totaled $185,863.76 and were 40.74% of total collections. We're inching closer to the 50, Andy.
Is that just for that month or?
Month.
Month.
Yes, sir.
Past 12 looks like we'd probably be in the high 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's itching that way each time. Any questions about financials?
A motion for approval of the financials.
Got a motion from Ms. Sheila and a second from Mr. Mike. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. On to our colorful color plate.
Well,
You just increased the font, that's all.
Where I can read it.
There we go.
it is, yeah, we reduced a lot of the last delinquent list, but this one is still pretty large. Yes, we can accounted for by all the holidays we've been having. What?
December was our busiest ever.
One Minuteman hamburgers should not be on here. I just saw that was on here. It should not be on here.
Both of them has got.
Those one centers are the ones that Mason's Fine Foods too, or Fine Southern Foods. The people with a penny are the ones that have in the past have tried to file a zero report online, and they have to pay a penny to do it.
Oh.
It won't just let them file a zero online.
Huh.
Reopen of
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh.
And the yellow ones that are so excessively delinquent have all, I spoke with Kim earlier, And they've all been served their 3 notices, and they're now in the citation range. They've never filed a report before, so we don't have any sales information for them.
But in the grand scheme of money, this,
Everybody's having in the 90.
oh,
So that's what I mean.
We do
Yeah.
have 90. The yellow ones.
Well, that's one. That's the count them.
Well-
They've already been.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't gotten citations yet. They're
You know,
I will make our standard motion to approve the 30-day proposed assessments, that they get a notice, the 60 days with an intent to revoke, and the 90 days, it sounds like we're already in that category of the cease and desist.
a motion.
second that.
End with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank y'all very much. You say Mr. Steve, but he's not here.
First of all, sorry that nobody was here to represent us last month. Me and Steve got our wires crossed on who was supposed to be here. But I'll take the blame. Just ask him.
Y'all were put new turf in.
There
Where
you
you were.
It really does look good.
It does.
It's
It
a
does.
fresh
And
look.
we're on schedule. It'll probably be done sometime end of February, so we'll be ready to go for
Start of
spring
spring,
league and
right.
March. Yep.
That'd be great. Looks
So-
good.
Well, just an update real quick on the sports side of things. Hosted 2 different volleyball events at both the Dono and the McGee Center. One of them this past weekend, and we have another one coming up the last weekend of the month. The Expo Center is having a busy month. Antique show this past weekend, having a Girl Scout event this upcoming weekend, and then Battle for the Rock Youth Wrestling Tournament
Which
on
you
January
sponsored.
21st. Do what?
The AMP
Sponsored.
Commission sponsored that
Oh,
event.
It's supposed to be the largest youth wrestling tournament in the state, is what we're
That was the
told.
gentleman from last month came and spoke about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never been to that thing, I'm telling you, go take you 30 minutes. Watch you some scrapping.
Get intense.
And then we'll have the gun show the last weekend of January out there at the Expo Center. And I did talk to Mike Schmidt this morning, which is the state director of the USSSA baseball, and he did confirm that we were awarded the World Series again this year. Of course, we had put in for it, but it's at the beginning of the year whenever they make that official. So we officially did get awarded that again. So, any questions?
When is the
Good
World
job.
Series? Is it in May?
It'll be in
July.
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 I can't remember. I think it's the 3rd week in July, if I remember right.
And you also agreed to fund their event.
That's right.
Right, I remember that one. Thank you
Thanks,
very
dear.
much. New business? I do have a reminder that the financial interest packet that was sent out needs to be turned in by the 31st of January. So just FYI, if you haven't responded or returned, please do so. And then the next thing is for us to talk about, I guess, is, well, no, 2 things. The CD rate. I sent an email out. Mike Gary did, I think, a great job. Went to all the banks. Right now, our CD is with Centennial, but I think the best offer was through Simmons,
4.12 for 6 months and 4.41 for 12 months. So we just need to decide if we want to go with the 12 or the 6. I mean, we haven't done anything with it thus far, and I don't know that we have any intent. So, I mean, I would say let's go with the higher rate at the 12 months.
That was, there's 2 questions, which 6 or 12. And he asked how much. I figured we'd just move the whole think. I don't think why we would
No,
separate.
I
it.
would, mm-mm.
But this is for y'all to think about right now, and we can wait on an email from myself, let him know which way to go. But I need, of course, y'all's vote which direction.
Affirmative.
Well, I mean,
I was gonna say, I'll make a recommendation for the 12-month.
second that.
The first and second to move the CD to Simmons Bank,
Before we vote on this,
sir.
we have two other accounts, Joe, that operating account. Something else.
Tax collection account.
Yeah. In those two accounts, we got $2 million. Some of it's over in there and that. I don't know the answer to the question. Also? We have a CD that we're going to be changing to other accounts. But our.
The bylaws say how much we have to.
Yeah, and I don't know what the liability is that we have sitting on. That money in that to. $2
I don't know of anything coming up in the next 6 months that would need that kind of money. And I feel like if there were something, we would already be planning for it right now.
Well, the other option is too, by moving more, you may even get a better rate because you've got more money that'll be moved over as well. So, mhm.
So I'm for taking a look at that. Dog in the hunt.
My thoughts of
It would be for the balance of the 7873 account. That's our operating account. The 7271 is a tax collection account. It gets allocated.
We need to make sure that we can do this before we jump off in the deep end of the pool. Carlos, can you research on that? That money might have to go in a different account because it is a line item. Just to make sure that we're staying flush with the rules and regulations.
Let me ask this real quick, since we just voted and had a motion, do we want to table this till next month? I don't know what the timeline is responding to Mike.
Well, I know when Mike sent it out initially, he had mentioned the fact of possibly looking at moving at the end of December, which we've already passed. I mean, I'm just not for leaving money sitting there and not.
I'm not either. I mean, we have the authority to go ahead and move the CD money.
Right.
469,000
Right.
today. I'd say let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And then, the council to see if any
Right.
of that other money that we got. Well.
This is the first time that since I've been on here about moving money from any of those accounts to this
Right.
CD,
This
so I
is-
don't
this-
know.
yeah, this is ours. You would. Thank you, sir.
Sanitation. Right.
Travis, the other thing that we probably are going to need to do as well, on the current CD that we have, it had Mike Garrett and then two of our previous A&P commissioners. So Mike Garrett had mentioned to me that it would probably be better to have, since both of those are no longer on the commission, to have someone other than just himself, of course, on there. So I'm going to make a recommendation that we have our chair, Travis, added to that. And we also need to be, for those of us that are continuing on, to be mindful in looking at this CD to make sure that we make those changes as our commission evolves as well.
That need to be a motion.
She said, but I'm not repeating it.
I made the motion.
I got a
Anybody
motion.
wants to second
I'll
that
second
emotion?
it. Two people from here on it?
We did have before. I don't think there's a requirement that we have two.
We've got a second one here.
My thought on that is that the two people that were on there were both past presidents.
Mhm.
So I would assume that maybe the second one was added and the first one was just never removed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I got a motion and a second.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir. Frank.
Who seconded it, Andy?
Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. No. Any opposed? One more thing brought to my attention was this nice artwork we have all over the town that A&P has paid for. The city has been storing for us. The flakes,
Snowflakes
The
and
Christmas
the
balls
Christmas
are-
balls that go in the roundabouts.
roundabouts.
Oh.
Since we paid for them, now it's our turn to store them because the city does not have any more room. And with storing comes cost. So Gates was looking at
So I know that the chamber, and they were called about it. They agreed to store them somewhere for 3 months. But that's not a permanent solution. The chamber doesn't own them or have any rights to them in any way. So I think that they would like to ask if the A&P Commission would take over paying for storage of that. And Gates had said at one point that he was going to, this all just came up last week, that he was going to look into finding a cheaper storage solution, maybe to see if Conway Corp had anything. But regardless, I think that it might fall upon the commission to cover the cost of that, whatever that cost may be. So I will ask him, I will ask Laura Grimes, the chamber CFO, and see where they currently put them, because I know they were just put away recently, and how much that charge was, and I'll let you all know.
If you don't mind, make sure it has at least about a 10 by 10 section so we get all the paper out of Jill's office finally.
Hey, that,
All
you
the
know.
AP documents she says is 19. I don't know how far, but yeah, there's a lot.
There's
I mean, if you're going to be paying for storage anyway,
Yeah.
That's
that
exactly
makes
right.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do we know how long you're supposed to keep that information? 35 years?
I mean,
Gotcha.
it's city documents. I'm not trying to.
I understand. Well, yeah, that's the best. Any more business to discuss? Make a motion to adjourn.
Amazing.
Second.
Thank you all very much and have a great month.